Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden and welcome back to Water Week on my channel. So this week for my YouTube channel, we are focusing on all things water. Water management for your garden, which includes sprinklers for your lawn, drip irrigation, water conservation, irrigation and sprinkler maintenance, and much, much more. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future videos, and check out my water management playlist, which has all my videos for irrigation, sprinklers, water management. I will link it above right now. So on today's video, I wanted to talk about watering your lawn. Watering your lawn is a crucial aspect of lawn care and maintenance. And a healthy lawn that's well watered not only looks lush and green, but it also helps promote healthy growth and fends off pests and diseases. However, watering your lawn effectively without wasting water can be a challenge, especially if you're somewhat new to lawn care. Overwatering can lead to root rot, funguses like you see here, and wasting precious water, while underwatering can cause wilting, brown patches, and stress to your lawn. Today, we're gonna go over some tips and tricks for maximizing the effectiveness of watering your lawn so you can have a healthy, vibrant lawn all season long. So let's take a second and talk about the anti-lawn movement. Each year across the United States, lawns consume trillions of gallons of water, millions of gallons of gas for mowing, and not to mention millions of pesticides. We can all see that massive lawns are not the way to go. There's been a big push for tearing out your lawn, replacing it with more water-wise plantings, and I totally get it. However, having a home with kids and pets and a garden that I love, having a lawn really does do something for me. It provides a place for us to hang out, it provides a rest for the eye. It is something that I can build my garden around, and I don't see myself getting rid of my lawn anytime soon. So knowing lawns aren't the most environmentally sound option, what can I do? Well, I can focus on efficiently watering my lawn so I can feel confident that the water I'm actually putting into it isn't going to waste. I am currently in training to become a master gardener here in California. And last week's class was all about water management and effectively watering your garden, including your lawn. I wanted to talk about some of the advice the presenter gave to us last week in last week's class because I found it extremely helpful for me as a homeowner with a lawn, and I think it will help all of us who do have lawns take care of them responsibly. So let's talk about the components of a sprinkler system. It starts out with this jumble of components that you'll most likely find on the side of your home. Or if you live in a cooler area of the country, you might find it under the ground in a box. This collection of components is called a manifold, which is actually a group of remote control valves. You'll have a controller or a timer that's connected to this manifold, which will control when and for how long the remote control valves in the manifold turn on and off. Usually your controller is located in the garage, like mine is, or on the side of your home. My controller is the Rachio Smart Sprinkler System, and I can't say enough about this system. It is fantastic, and it has changed the game for my water management in my garden. But I'll talk more about this guy later. So coming from the manifold over there, there will be a pipe underneath the ground that goes all the way over to the lawn to the pop-up sprinklers that I have in my lawn. You can see one of mine right here. See how it pops up? You can also have multi-stream spray heads or impact spray heads. So the controller will tell the sprinkler system to start running, but it's up to us to tell the controller how long to tell the sprinklers to run. So how long should the sprinklers run? So the first thing you need to know is what kind of grass you have. Do you have warm season grass like Bermuda grass or St. Augustine grass? Or do you have cool season grass like fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, or ryegrass? Well, here's a map of usually where cool season or warm season grasses are located. Now, I was actually really confused about this. I am located in one of those transition areas where we don't all have warm season grass and we don't all have cool season grass. So I really didn't know what type of grass I had, so I kind of cheated a little bit. I found a business that was a sod supplier or a lawn supplier when you're going to install a new lawn. I called them and I asked them what type of grass we have in our area, and they were sweet enough to tell me we have cool season grass. The next step is to determine the output of your sprinkler system, or how much water comes out over a certain period of time. And to determine this, we are going to conduct what's called the Tunican Test. Yep, that's what it's called. It doesn't have to be tuna cans. That's just something that most people have access to. Lots of people use cat food cans. It just has to be something that has straight sides like this and that you have 6 or more of. I am going to use these glass Tupperware containers. Place the containers evenly around your lawn and run your lawn sprinklers for 20 minutes. Once you run your lawn and collected the amount of water in your containers, you want to measure the depth of the water with a ruler. Take the average of all 6 containers by adding all the depths together and dividing by the amount of containers you have. Take this average and multiply by 3 to get how many inches of water your sprinkler system applies per hour. Now, just as a total average recommendation, most lawns need about 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week. This is from sprinklers as well as rain. So if you get rain that week, you obviously don't need to water your lawn as much. As far as I can tell, this average recommendation is for the United States only. But even for the United States, it's huge. It's incredibly varied, and someone who lives on the East Coast, say in Virginia, is going to have completely different water requirements for their lawn as compared to someone who lives, say, in California. So what can you do? Well, there are actually guides that you can find online. California's guide is pretty extensive, and it actually breaks the state into 11 different regions and recommends watering schedules per month for each region. For all you Californians, I will link in the description down below the lawn watering guide for California from the University of California's Agriculture and Natural Resources. Once I know how many inches of water my sprinkler system applies each hour, I just have to look at this map to find out which region I live in. Then I look at this table to see the recommendations of total watering minutes per week. For example, I live in region 2 of California. I have cool season grass, so I look on this side of the table, and because the tuna can trick, I know my system applies 1 inch of water per hour. I can see that in February, I need a total of 21 minutes per week of watering if there's no rain. So then I can decide how many days per week I want to water and divide up those 21 minutes of total watering per week. So for example, if I'm going to water 3 days a week, I take 21, divide it by 3, and that gives me 7 minutes each day I water. This amount will obviously vary. It will increase as it gets hotter and windier, and it will decrease as it gets cooler and rainier. Now, I spent some time searching the internet for other guidelines in other states, and I actually found quite a few. I searched the state name, then watering guide, then .edu, which means it's an educational article and not something you might get from someone trying to sell you something. I would recommend searching the internet this way for your state or region. I've actually found a couple other states already with really fantastic guides. I will link them in the description down below. If you do find something for your state and region, please link it in the comment section down below for all your neighbors. Okay, so now you know how long to water your lawn for, but how often should you water your lawn? It's well known that frequent and shallow waterings are less effective for lawn health as compared to infrequent and deep waterings. This is because the deeper you water, the deeper the roots of the grass will grow down into the ground. The deeper the roots, the more likely the grass will be able to tolerate heat and drought conditions. The other thing to consider are those of us who live in drought states and have watering restrictions. Here in California, all over the state, there's been restrictions on the days that we can water our lawns. Every region is different. Sometimes it's the last number of your address. If you're even, you can water on Tuesday, Thursday. If you're odd, you can water on Monday, Wednesday. If you live on the north side of the street, you can water on Fridays. If you live on the south side of the street, you can water on Tuesdays. It differs for every place. but it's tough to have a lush green lawn with all those water restrictions. Whatever the restrictions are, they're likely not going away anytime soon, and if anything, they're probably going to worsen over the coming years. So the best practice for watering your lawn is to train your lawn to tolerate infrequent waterings so then you can fit your lawn watering in with these restrictions. So say for example, you've decided to water your lawn twice a week, and your recommendation for lawn watering, say in August, is 80 minutes per week based on your sprinkler application rate. So twice a week, 80 minutes total, that's going to be 40 minutes of watering per day that you water. Now, 40 minutes of watering your lawn is a long time. Most likely you're going to get some runoff, which is when the water actually runs off the lawn into the sidewalk or even in the street. This is actually illegal in quite a lot of places, not to mention a terrible waste of water. You can avoid runoff by breaking up your watering into shorter cycles. Aim for 2 to 3 cycles per day. So if you have to water on Tuesday for 40 minutes, break it up into shorter cycles totaling 40 minutes. To find out how many cycles you need to run, you need to figure out how much water your lawn can handle at one time. You figure this out by running another experiment. Your neighbors are going to think you're crazy after all this. I'm sorry. What you want to do is start your sprinklers, start a stopwatch, and wait. What you're watching for is the point when water starts running off the lawn into the sidewalk or garden bed, whatever is right next to your lawn. This is different for everyone because we all have different soil types. We all know that sandy soil can take in a lot of water and it drains a lot of water very quickly. So sandy soil underneath your lawn will be able to take in a lot longer cycle than someone who has clay soil. Once you find out how long your cycles can be, then you need to figure out how many cycles you need to run to meet your total number of water minutes needed per week. Math. Okay, I get it. All these calculations, all these numbers, my eyes are starting to cross. So what is a way that you can figure out how much you need to water your lawn the easy way? Well, get yourself one of these. Run your sprinklers, and after you're done, jam the screwdriver into the lawn down 8 inches. If the screwdriver is wet, then you know you've watered your lawn enough. If it's hard to push the screwdriver into the lawn and it kind of stops at about 4 inches or so, then you know the water isn't getting deep enough and you might need another cycle. One other tip for effective lawn watering is thinking about the time of day that you're watering your lawn. Think about it. Imagine it's August, it's windy, it's hot. At 3 p.m., you can't even go outside because it's so hot out there. If you choose to water your lawn at this time, 3 p.m., when it's so hot, quite a big portion of that water is going to be lost due to evaporation, and it won't have time to sink down into the roots of the lawn and actually get the water where it needs to go. Best practice is watering your lawn around 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is kind of the magic hour, and there's 2 reasons for this. One, it's early enough so the sun isn't up, it's not too hot, and you're not going to lose all that water to evaporation. But it's also not so early in the night that the water's going to be sitting there keeping your lawn damp for hours on end, which could cause disease and mildew. So when you're going to water your lawn and you want to start your cycles, start your first cycle around 4 a.m. Let the water sit in for a while and then do your next cycle about an hour later. So we all have different sprinklers for our systems. I think the most common is what I have, which is the pop-up sprinkler head. Really big lawns have the impact or rotary heads, but I want to bring your attention to something called an MP rotator nozzle or MPR sprinkler head. These are just about the most efficient sprinkler heads on the market today. They're known to be high efficiency and water saving. What it does is it adjusts the amount of water given to a particular section of your lawn to the same rate as the rest of your lawn. With MP rotator heads, they actually will apply the same amount of water no matter what angle you have the sprinkler head set at. So if you have the sprinkler head set at a 90-degree angle to spray and water a 90-degree angle, it will apply the same amount over that lawn as if you have the sprinkler head applying it at a 360-degree angle. So this This is going to cause a uniformity of water across your lawn, and you won't have to overwater some parts of your lawn to make up for other parts of your lawn that you're underwatering. So it's actually going to save you water in the long run. You can actually purchase these MPR sprinkler heads or MP rotator heads from a big box store, and you can easily replace your regular pop-up spray sprinkler heads with those. Jason and I are planning to do that this year. Okay, let's talk about maintenance for your sprinkler system. There are a few things that you need to do on a regular basis to maintain your efficiency. First, you want to run the Tunican Test each year. You want to recalculate the application amount that comes from your sprinkler system so you can make sure that you're running your sprinklers for the correct amount of time. Next, you want to clean your sprinkler head nozzles with a toothbrush. You might as well get an old toothbrush for your watering system outdoors, because I'm going to be recommending this a few times over the week. Save your old toothbrush, pull up your sprinkler, and clean out the nozzle. Sprinklers also have filters inside. You can actually pull up on your sprinkler head, remove the nozzle, and pull out the filter. Use pliers if you need to. Use that toothbrush to clean out the filter and get all that dirt and debris out of there. Now, don't forget to put that filter back. It's really important to have that in place, so don't think about removing it if the sprinkler head is not working right. Make sure it's cleaned out and inserted back in properly. If your sprinkler head is still not working right, it might be time to replace it. Speaking of replacing sprinkler heads, if you do have to replace a sprinkler head, make sure you use the same brand and the same model sprinkler head as all the other ones that you already have. You don't want to change it up. You want them to be all uniform so that you know that the application rate is the same across all sprinkler heads. And finally, this next tip for maintenance isn't yearly or even quarterly. It's actually every time you need to mow your lawn. You want to make sure that you keep your grass edged around all of your sprinkler heads. If the grass is too high and it blocks those sprinkler heads, you're going to have uneven coverage. So then in the summer, if you all of a sudden start getting brown spots in your lawn, you don't want to increase the amount that you're watering because of these brown spots. You want to take care of the source of the problem, which means taking care of that blockage, the grass that's covering those sprinkler heads. This could mean something as simple as taking the weed whacker to the grass around the heads. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, lawns take up quite a large amount of water, and it's up to us as lawn owners to limit that amount of water that we use as much as possible. Having a lawn is a luxury, and we need to be responsible about how much water we use for our lawns. So, what are the ways that we can save water as lawn owners? Well, first, what we already talked about is remembering to water early in the morning. Remember, 4 a.m. is key. You don't want to water when it's too hot, when you're going to lose a ton of that water due to the heat and the evaporation. Next, make sure that you're removing all the weeds in your lawn. Weeds not only look bad in lawns, but they actually compete with water for the grass in your lawn. So if you have a lot of weeds in your lawn and you just leave them in there, then you're actually going to end up be watering those weeds. So make sure you remove all those weeds and water your lawn, not the weeds. You also want to fertilize moderately. It's great to fertilize your lawn. You want a lush, green looking lawn, and sometimes you do have to add nutrients to your lawn. However, if you overdo it, your lawn is going to be growing like crazy. And if it grows like crazy, it's going to need water like crazy. Not to mention, it's going to need mowing like crazy. So make sure you're not over fertilizing your lawn so you don't have to overwater it and over mow it. Speaking of mowing, make sure you are mowing to the correct height. The guideline is 1.5 inches tall in spring and fall and 3 inches tall in summer. You want your lawn taller in the summer because it will actually shade the roots from the hot sun and prevent too much evaporation of the soil. The grass will be happier with the increased height, and you'll get to mow less. Finally, remove the thatch and aerate your lawn 1 to 2 times per year. Dethatching your lawn is the process of removing an excessively thick layer of organic material that actually prevents water from getting down to the roots. You can do this with a tool called a dethatcher, or a dethatching rake. Aerating your lawn is exactly what it sounds like. You're allowing for air or oxygen to get down to the roots of your lawn. Now, here's a tip. You might have seen aerators that look like this or like this. This kind is actually not recommended. When you're pushing anything down into the lawn, like those spikes on those shoes or the spikes on that rotating thing, you're actually compressing and compacting the soil around those spikes. So you're actually doing the opposite of what you're trying to do, which is loosen up the soil and allow those roots to expand so that they can take in more water. You actually want an aerator that physically pulls plugs out of the grass, then you can leave them there to decompose into the lawn. This process will increase the amount of oxygen getting to the roots, and like I said, increase the root structure so the grass will be able to absorb more water more efficiently, meaning less water needed. Finally, I can't end this video without talking about my Rachio smart sprinkler system. Not sponsored. I purchased the system off of Amazon, and it only took a few minutes to replace my old push button system with this guy that hooks up to my phone. Now I can control my sprinklers from my phone. When I'm testing my sprinklers or notice they need to be stopped because I see some runoff, or if I just want to mess with Jason and turn them on while he's walking through the grass, I can do it all from my phone, and it makes things so much easier. I will link the Rachio system on Amazon in the description down below. You can check it out and read the reviews yourself, but I really think it is worth the money. It makes this whole drip watering lawn system so much easier. All right, everyone, that is it for today's video on efficient lawn watering. I hope this helped answer some of your questions on watering your lawn, and I hope it encourages you to water your lawn efficiently and effectively. Stay tuned tomorrow for another video in my Water Week series. Tomorrow we're going to be talking all about drip irrigation. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today.